She lived happily, happily, happily ever after. A magical kiss counteracted the apple eventually.
It's Sunday morning on CBS, and here again is Jane Pauley.
Once upon a time, there was a fairy tale that became a Broadway show that turned a struggling young performer into a legend of comedy. And now there's a whole new chapter to that story, shared by our Tracy Smith.
We have an opening for a princess.
New York has always been a place where stars are born. But every once in a while, the city gives rise to a legend.
I've always been shy. I confess that I'm shy.
In 1959, a new show opened, written by Mary Rodgers, daughter of Broadway composer Richard Rodgers, and it starred a newcomer named Carol Burnett.
God knows I try, though I'm frightened and shy. And despite the impression I give,
In the scope of your incredible career, how important was Once Upon a Mattress?
Way up there.
What are you, some kind of nut?
The show, seen here in a later version made for CBS, was an adaptation of the old fairy tale, The Princess and the Pea,
It would be simply dropping with exhaustion.
about the princess who could feel a pea under a stack of mattresses. And from the start, it seemed like Princess Winnifred was a role Carol Burnett was born to play. It was her Broadway debut,
All right, sheep. I'm ready whenever you are.
and a golden opportunity for a girl who grew up nearly penniless.
How ironic was it that you played this princess on this pile of royal mattresses, and yet you yourself didn't have your own bed until you were, 21 years old?
Right. I slept on the couch. I lived with my grandmother in a one-room apartment in Hollywood until I left to go to New York. And then I lived in a wonderful place called the Rehearsal Club.
And you had a cot.
I had a cot, and I thought, wow, this is nice. I have a bed for the first time.
Her threadbare upbringing might explain her ferocious work ethic. In 1959, between Mattress and her regular CBS network gig on The Gary Moore Show,
It's Supergirl.
Carol Burnett was working 7 days a week. In fact, she was so exhausted that during one matinee performance atop the mattresses, she actually passed out.
You literally fell asleep.
I conked it, because at the beginning, I'm pretending to be asleep, and maybe I've put an audience to sleep, but I never knew that I could sleep in front of an audience. And I remember the stage manager going, Carol, wake up. Oh, maybe I was out for a minute, I don't know, or two, but it was long.
I have no one but me.
But the hard work was literally paying off. Burnett was soon making what was then a fortune, more than $500 a week.
I was rolling in dough. I mean, I had never seen that much money in my life.
What did you do with it?
I spent it. No. You know what? I bought the first pair of shoes that actually fit me.
That was then. You hadn't had a pair of shoes that fit you before?
Because I couldn't afford it. So when I got Mattress and Gary, I remember getting my first pair of high heels that fit. Wow. It was a thrill. I wish I still had them. I'd have them bronzed.
Once Upon a Mattress has held up pretty well through the years, both on stage and screen.
That wretched moat-swimming princess.
It was last adapted for TV in 2005. Carol played the scheming queen that time.
I want to live happily, happily, happily ever after.
And the newest version opens this week with two-time Tony winner Sutton Foster in the lead role.
It's such a gift to be able to play such a wild and crazy character.
She says the princess role is fun, but playing her night after night takes everything she has.
Terribly shy.
It's kind of like, you know, Dolly Parton has that phrase, it takes a lot of money to look this cheap. And it's kind of the same thing, like it takes a lot of hard work to make it look easy.
Yeah.
I'm going fishing for a mason.
Then that's my goal, for it to be like, oh, this whole thing, there's nothing. But inside, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
I'm in love with a girl named Fred.
But then it's like, poof, oh yeah, I do this every day, piece of cake. But inside,
We couldn't help but wonder what Carol Burnett herself would think of Sutton Foster's interpretation. So we got the two of them together.
There she is.
Hi, how's it going?
Sweetheart.
I'm so happy to see you.
It's so good to see you. Mwah.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for doing this.
And it's pretty clear that Carol's a fan.
There couldn't be a better Winnifred. You are it. I knew it the minute they said it, that you'd been cast. I said, what took them so long? You know, because, so it's perfect, perfect.
Sutton, you watched the Carol Burnett show growing up. What kind of effect did that have on you?
It was everything. I used to watch it every week. I would tune in.
You were the one.
I was the one. I was the only one.
Now, do you have any proof that you're my real that you're my...
You were funny, you were tall, you were unafraid, confident, and I was like, oh, I want to do that, I want to be that. And I was just always tuning in to see that spontaneity and that aliveness, and to be able to look up to someone who was unafraid to be ridiculous.
Okay, so do you two have a secret Princess Winnifred handshake?
Not yet.
What?
I feel like you need a secret handshake.
But if we show you, then it won't be secret.
Yeah.
All right, lumps.
And now,
Watch out!
as the crown is passed from one Princess Winnifred to another, Once Upon a Mattress seems poised to deliver a few more happily ever afters.
What are your hopes for it this time around?
That it's a great success. Here it is, 65 years later, and this show is going to keep going. It's a fairy tale, and then there'll be someday that there'll be a girl that you're going to love the way I love you, and you're going to be encouraging her. I have no doubt.
But a genuine princess is exceeding